Livz, 3-0 win at home Southampton. Is that a routine win, expected win? Or is it something that you really didn't expect to happen after what happened at Everton?
No, I'll be honest with you, I did expect a win. You know, Southampton, I thought, let's bounce back like we usually do after losses and get the 3 points, home advantage. And obviously beside that first 15 minutes, you know, where Southampton were pressuring us, you know, they had some clear-cut chances. I thought, you know, it's going to be one of them days again, you know what I mean? But we done well, we got the early goals, you know, the first goal. Great team.
Talk to me about that first goal, because Ramsdale had me on the edge with that little mistake he made at the back, but the lead up to the first goal.
The lead up to the first goal was just brilliantly worked. Great counter-attacking goal, you know. When Arsenal played that nice, fast, fluid football, that's when we can hurt teams, does that make sense? But we just need to see consistency when it comes to that. You know what I mean? We want to see us play that style against the top teams as well. It's vital. We can't just do it against, you know, these small teams when they're not doing well. We've got to show that we can implement that against the top teams. You get me? Or try, you know what I mean? So we can see the improvement. We haven't really been doing that. Does that make sense? But it was nice to see that first goal. Laka done well, you know, great finish. I was happy with that goal. The second goal, you know, what can I say? Like Odegaard, 3 and 3.
Yeah.
You know
Header as well.
Look, I'll be honest with you. When Odegaard played against Manchester United, beside that goal he scored, I wasn't really happy with the performances beside that goal. Do you get? But obviously him giving away a penalty, I was really unhappy with that about that. Against
He's redeemed himself?
Everton, he redeemed himself. You know, even though we lost, he played well against Everton. He was very good against Everton. He's probably one of our best players. He got his goal against Everton. You know, we lost. I can't blame that on him. Now he scored again. You know what I'm trying to say? And today, he was probably one of my man of the match, him and Martinelli, you know what I mean? They were, for me, excellent. Do you get me? They brought everything to the pitch today, and that's what was needed. 3 and 3, I can't really complain. Does that make sense? As long as he keeps scoring, doing his job, you know, bringing to the team, then that's what matters. Do you get? And
last season we were crying out for the lack of goals from midfield. Now we're getting, I know it's 3 and 3, but we're getting that now. Yeah. So surely that's got to be some type of improvement.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's been some improvement. Like, for example, with Odegaard, I never thought he would be the goal-scoring type of midfielders. I always thought he was going to be that guy, you know, just get the ball, try to make things happen, try to create. But he's actually adding goals to his game, which is as important as getting assists, in my opinion. So I'm happy with that overall. The third goal, you know, Martinelli, he done well. Martinelli was killing Livramento the whole game, you know, really showed him levels. Put a great ball into the box, you know. Gabriel got the header. Yeah. You get me? Buzzing for Gabriel, he's been consistent as well. He was solid at the back. Even though he done that little mistake in the beginning, he done well to overcome that. But yeah, I'm just happy with overall, like, the team performance. Everyone put in a shift today. I can't complain, but I can't really get excited like that because Southampton weren't really good today. Does that make sense? We're going to be playing West Ham. West Ham are a complete different team to Southampton. West Ham are battling to get top 4, just like we are. West Ham are out here beating big teams. Does that make sense? Teams that we've been struggling against. And that's going to be a test. West Ham, it's not like West Ham are going to come to Emirates and play for a draw. West Ham are going to come to the Emirates and think, you know what, we can get 3 points here. Does that make sense? So we've got to be aware that that's the mentality that West Ham are going to come with, and we've got to be at our very best. So I feel like for us to get a result against West Ham, we've got to be at our very best. Everyone's got to put in a shift. But yeah, it's going to be, I can't lie, man. Martinelli, I think he has to start next game, personally. I don't know who's going to get dropped though, because Odegaard, right now he's playing like he's undroppable.
Why do you think anyone needs to get dropped for Martinelli to start?
Smith Rowe obviously has come back into the team. Smith Rowe's been one of our best players this season. So if Smith Rowe comes back into that team, it's going to be difficult to see who gets dropped. Yeah. Like,
normally it would probably be between Odegaard and Lacazette maybe, but Odegaard's, you could say, on form. Lacazette played immensely today.
Very well today, you know what I mean? Lacazette, he was very good, Lacazette today. Do you get? He showed leadership on the pitch. I could see him dishing out instructions to the team. You know, he was working his socks off, done well when he had possession of the ball. So again, I don't see him getting dropped. I feel like he might start against West Ham, maybe. Oba might be on the bench for West Ham, as we've heard. He's going to be back for next game. So yeah, I don't know who's going to be dropped, man. Martinelli.
Well, seeing as Emile Smith Rowe is out with a precautionary groin injury, maybe he might not play the full 90 anyway. Maybe he can come on at the second half. That's
what I'm saying. That's something that, you know, that might happen. It looked like today, you know, Smith Rowe was ready to come on whenever that it was needed.
Warming up the whole game.
That's something. He's warming up the whole game. He looked like he was fine. I didn't see. He didn't look like someone that had a little niggle on him, but he's someone that probably will be fit to play for next game. So to see who gets dropped, I don't know, and it's going to be a bit of a madness. But yeah, it's good to see KT as well back in the side. You know, love to see it. I kind of miss what KT brings to the team, you know, that directness, that leadership, you get. And I feel like that was kind of missing. Overall, Tavares done well, but he's still young. He still needs that. I feel like he needs to build up his character a bit more, his personality, you know, bit more experience as well. That's needed from him, but it will come, you know. He's a good talent as well. So yeah, like overall, I'm happy.
But I want to ask you. I've asked everyone else the Aubameyang situation. I mean, it was a massive conversation before the game. It was all over the radio. It was all over the media. He's been dropped, and not for the fact that he hasn't been on form. He's been dropped for the fact that, as Arteta says, disciplinary reasons, and he's mentioned that before, if you remember the North London derby. Yeah. So what do you make of this whole situation as him being the captain as well?
That's what I'm saying. I'm disappointed because Oba is someone that I like a lot. I like Oba. I've got love for Oba, you know what I mean? But when you're the captain of Arsenal Football Club, it comes with huge responsibilities. You've got to be leading by example. If you're behaving like that as an Arsenal captain, what message does that send, not just to the rest of the first team players, but to all the youngsters? You know what I mean? All the youth players that look up to you. Does that make sense? And to the world as well. It doesn't make us look like a serious club. And Oba, I don't really look at him, like he might be a leader in his own way, but I don't look at him as a leader to actually captain Arsenal. You know what I mean? Someone that actually, like if you look at our captains, yeah, our best captains, Vieira, Tony Adams, yeah, those are two examples of players that have shown great leadership. Even Cesc, for example, yeah, they led by example. You know what I mean? Behaviour on and off the pitch. Does that make sense? But I feel like with him, I feel like him being a captain is unnecessary pressure for him, because there's nothing wrong with not being a leader like in Oba. He's great at what he does, scoring goals. Does that make sense? But putting this unnecessary pressure by being a captain, it's not going to do him any good, because now look, he's getting himself into these little situations here. You know, Arteta's called him out today. Even though I wasn't really happy when Arteta called him out, I said the reason because I felt like he's throwing him under the bus. Yeah. Then again, I did think about it and I said, you know what? They've got the Amazon thing happening, the documentary. It's
probably going to come out anyway.
It might come out anyways. But looking at it, I wasn't really happy with the way he threw him under the bus, because it's like, yo, you got to be backing your players. Does that make sense? Wenger, for years, he was backing his players. Even when they done him wrong, he still backed them. Does that make sense? And a lot of players in the squad might look at that and be like, whoa, he's thrown him under the bus. How do I know that might not happen to me? Does that make sense? And
then everyone's got to be on their best behaviour then and do their job.
I get it, but you know how it is. You can easily lose dressing rooms like that. And obviously, he did not follow the protocol, which wasn't right, but he's got to step up Aubameyang, you get.
I've got to ask though, do you think it's a bit unfair that the fans have so quickly turned on Aubameyang? I mean, he was the man in the moment. We was begging for him to get the new contract, and now all of a sudden, a huge majority of the fan base we see on social media are just like, yeah, drop him. Fair enough, but like, there's been harsh criticism of him. Yeah, sell him.
It's going to come with that, because when you play for a massive club like Arsenal, yeah, and you're not putting in the work, you're not showing that, you know, you want to be here, you know, you don't show the heart consistently to play for the club, play for the badge, fans will see that and will call him out. Does that make sense? And that's where it comes down to my point about unnecessary pressure. Him being a captain, you got to always, all eyes will always be on you. When you're the captain, eyes will always be on you. Does that make sense? So having this unnecessary pressure again, that's what causes these fans to, you know, to speak out and call him out. Does that make sense? Obviously, we've already been having issues with Aubameyang's performance on the pitch, but now he became headlines today because he did not follow the protocol. Does that make sense? He didn't follow the protocol, and Arteta's called him out. Do you get me? And he's a captain. So what does that show? Does that make sense? It's gonna come with it. Criticism will come with that, and he's got to be man enough to be like, you know what? As a captain, I'll take the heat and I'll try to make things right. Does that make sense?
Turn it around.
Does that make sense? And if it's getting too much for Aubameyang, there's nothing wrong with passing over the captain. See, do you get it? There's KT there. There's Ramsdale there. They're leaders, in my opinion. Do you get? I don't mind one of them guys being a captain. Does that make sense? So yeah, man, I just hope he turns it around. He's going to be available for West Ham. Just what better way to come back and get a goal? Does that make sense? Because we all love Aubameyang. We know what he does. Do you get? Just do what you do best. Does that make sense? Work hard, and the fans will love it.
Let's go back to the positives. Man of the match from today.
Man of the match.
Hard one to call.
I've had to be Odegaard or Martinelli, but I'll give it to Odegaard because he got the goal.